What, last episode?
The last episode, yeah. I don't know if you recall, because, see, last episode, I actually ended up talking to you about, like, rap and the Illuminati in rap.
Oh, my God.
And we
completely forgot about that.
We were on a tangent about that.
Dude, I forgot to even, like, prepare for this topic, but I'm ready. Let's do it.
But we still got, stuff
I got shit off the top, so it's easy.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
where do you want to start, dog? Because, like,
we got to start.
First of all, I don't even feel comfortable talking about this topic because people be just disappearing after they speak about the Illuminati or whatever, even that word. So I'm like,
after I end up like suicided, because I didn't do it, but like make T-shirts with my name
and our VNA just bring out merch and just make our families rich.
Yeah,
that's all I wish for if I die. God forbid, knock on wood.
That's it. That's all I want them to do. But we're gonna go ahead and expose the Illuminati. That's what we're here to do.
Yeah,
we gotta take over the. I can't do the Alex Jones voice. That's a hard voice to do. The raspy, obese redneck voice. That's Texas hard to master.
Is he from Texas?
I think he is. Yeah, he's from Austin, Texas. I think.
That's my guess. I don't even know. I could just tell.
But the Illuminati stuff is weird. I was looking back, especially when you think about hip hop.
Yeah.
Because this is something that's been going on for like since at least the 90s, right?
Yeah.
Like Tupac was talking about the Illuminati, but there's very like different interpretations about what he meant when he said Illuminati.
I mean, that's the whole thing about it. It's just however you perceive it, I guess, but that's what we gotta. I mean, there's a lot of artists that do talk about the Illuminati, which is funny too. There's like a bunch of clips out there.
It's ironic.
There's one with French where he's like, I think it was what's homie's name?
I think he was getting close to what Prodigy said.
Tim Westwood. I don't know if you ever seen a Tim Westwood.
Yeah, I know.
He's a dude from
very white European
UK
dude.
Guy.
But and he has dudes spit mad bars, and he's just there in the background.
Yeah. He talks about. I think he brings up the Illuminati, and French is like, "Really, man?" Like, I think he tells him about it. Like, yeah, people are getting rich off this, da da da. And then French is like, "Yeah, man, I want to join." So like, there's different views from different artists. There's some that are like how French is, they play around with it. There's some that are like, I mean, fuck it. Jay-Z and Rick Ross have a song called Freemason. Have you heard that?
Yeah, I've heard it.
Now, I'm not saying it has anything to do with Freemason. Like,
well, but the thing about Jay-Z is like, you got to cut the foreplay.
Why is he doing it though?
He has to cut the foreplay, man.
Like, come on,
he's
dog.
doing it. He's trolling us at this point, man.
You really think so? Yo, but he's been doing it before it was even publicized.
Well,
that's the tricky part. And why the hell did Prodigy say Jay-Z's evil?
That's a good thing to consider.
That will always haunt me.
I think it's possible that Prodigy thought that Jay-Z was in the Illuminati. That's what it seems like Prodigy was inferring at a certain point.
Damn, I think I actually have to move this. Because, like, I just keep hearing the table wobble, and I feel like, I don't know if it's you.
Is it?
I think it might be the fact that my mic stand was super close to but we're good. Anyway, I just moved it so we're straight. It shouldn't make that noise anymore.
If you're thinking about, like, what Prodigy was saying about Jay-Z, I mean, that was pretty...
Did you see that clip?
It's pretty weird. I've seen what Prodigy has done in general about the Illuminati.
No, but you got to see that clip, though.
The one about Jay-Z?
Specifically, where he says that he thinks Jay-Z's evil, which I was like, what? That shit threw... And he said it in a... Genius? The website that covers all the lyrics.
Yeah, of course.
That's like it's a popular brand, and he said it there though. That's where I was like, damn, like he just blew it out the window like that. I was like, oh shit, like.
But I'd have to think, like, why does he say Jay-Z is evil? Like, it could be a bunch of different, because there's some people, man, that are straight up psychopaths, especially at the top.
Of course.
That's the issue. So I don't know what he meant by that. If you would have said, I saw Jay-Z, selling children's body parts off a van or some shit, that would have been like, oh, that's the type of evil we're talking about. But it could also be the type of evil, like, I'm businessman evil, like if somebody fucks around too much, they might disappear.
For sure.
Like Mafia, Cosa Nostra type of stuff. That's one of them,
Like Cosa Nostra.
But Prodigy is probably the most interesting dude to come up with that, because because the way that he was talking about it, he took it to another level. I don't think anyone in hip hop has ever.
He wasn't playing, bro. I wish deep. I gotta get the name of those. The name of the books he was talking about. Because I remember he says it in an interview too, and he says the name of the books, so which is like even more like interesting.
When I heard about what he said, I think I can infer what one of the books he might have been talking about is, because there was this one book. He made this mixtape called Hegelian, or was it an album? It was called Hegelian.
It was a project.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a 3-part project.
But then he passed.
Yeah,
unfortunately, R.I.P.
And R.I.P. And the thing about that is, like, first of all, the name of it is a weird. You don't expect that. Like, who?
Right. You gotta know about that.
People generally, like, you have to be a philosophy student or something like that if you're really gonna, if you know what Hegelian, or at least you have to be interested in.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't even know what the hell it is. That's me being honest with you. Like,
only people that philosophy students, people that are interested in Karl Marx. That's it. And communist and shit like that.
What is it?
Well, Hegelian dialectic is a system of interpreting reality, right? Okay. It's like but it's different the way that Hegel did it. The guy that made it, like,
that made the book.
That made
the book, like the
philosopher. Yeah. And so he was a German philosopher, and he came up with a way of interpreting history and making sense of, like, history, but it was like through the mind, right? It wasn't like the way that he perceived the world. It wasn't like he was trying to tell you, this is how the world really is. It's like, no, this is how ideas are. He was describing, like, a history of the world through idealism, right? Through that.
Pretty interesting.
It's pretty hard shit to actually.
It's confusing.
It can be, yeah.
You read it?
And Marx, some of it.
Okay.
I'm not.
Yo, can you pass me the scissors, bro? Appreciate it, bro. I don't know where it is.
It's weird that he would come up, and it's weird that it would be influential, because he's saying basically what Prodigy was getting at is that Hegel, right? Hegel's dialectics is actually being used currently to manipulate people, to get people divided against each other, right? Because basically what you do is you get one thing, anything, right? Can be like Democrats, and then you get its opposite.
I'm sorry, bro. I'm here searching the Jay-Z Prodigy clip.
Oh, the video?
Yeah, the weirdest thing now is I can't even find it now. That's funny.
It's maybe he had that removed, or he like suicided the guy that did it or some shit.
It was a genius interview. Oh, I think I found it, my man. Keep on talking though. Whoa, what were you saying? I
was talking about, like, how Prodigy was suggesting. By the way, Prodigy knew Alex Jones.
They were cool?
Oh, they've done it. He's interviewed them. He's interviewed him, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I haven't seen that.
He's interviewed, yeah. No, they knew each other. The Hegelian thing, that came from, that he believed that probably came from another woman who actually did work at the White House, and her father was in Skull and Bones, the same secret society that George Bush was in.
Yeah.
And she actually wrote a book. I can't remember the exact title, but it's something like, the plan to make America dumber, right? And it was basically about how, like, the schooling system is purposefully being garbage, make people stupid, get them to behave a certain way, manipulate politics, control, power, right?
Right.
And the idea was Hegelian dialectic, right? You get one thing, you get its opposite, and you get what's called synthesis, which means it's like the product after that. So it's like you got Democrats, you got Republicans. One is the opposite of the other. Not literally, but in a certain way they are opposites, right?
Yeah, of course.
They're in conflict, ideally. And you get synthesis, which is the outcome of that. So, like, synthesis would be like what happens after these two compete against each other. You end up getting whatever it is that you get. And so how they use those two different opposites to manipulate people, to make, people show up at the Capitol and do some wild shit on January 6th, to make Antifa dress up in all black, and you have like a 4 foot tall lesbian chick trying to beat up a redneck, and it's funny. And so,
that's interesting though.
But that was what Prodigy thought.
Look, I got the clip. Check it.
Break down down Ross, Kendrick Lamar. We're talking about Beyonce and Madonna.
This might be the clip.
Let's talk about the Illuminati and their lyrics.
That was great.
Y'all haters corny with that Illuminati mess.
Cause I'm like, is she taking a shot? Or is she doing what I did? Like, you know what I mean? Just like putting it in there. I don't know. It's interesting to see her even say that in a song.
Word.
What is the Illuminati?
Right or wrong.
Like, if you could break down.
We do gotta talk, so no copyright.
It's a group that was
Yeah.
You already know.
formed
This is why we need a soundboard.
1700s, something like that. 1600s.
He's talking about like
1600s.
White House. He started this group of people like powerful, rich.
He's going all the way back though.
Yeah, he knows the shit.
Basically,
I'm trying to see down. Where's
The
the
Bavarians.
opinion and
Wait, I think the Jay-Z clip
the world
is. Hold up, did I
move
pass
forward.
it?
The word means like the illuminated ones. Light.
It's right here. It's right here. Hold up.
Comes out, Jay-Z drops his debut Reasonable Doubt.
I don't even think this is the clip, dog, but fuck it. We're gonna play
Produced by
it.
DJ Premier.
Right.
And they sample your line, Illuminati want my mind, soul, and my body.
Let me see if he says it here. The craziest thing about that track is he literally sampled Prodigy saying the Illuminati line, and he sampled the Snoop song.
Yeah, murder was the case.
Come on, whatever. Let's keep it
I
up.
mean, you name it. Everyone from Jay-Z to Kanye West,
Come
Drake,
on, hurry
Meek Mill,
up.
Rick Ross, Kendrick Lamar. We're talking about Beyonce.
Culture in our people. I had bumped this in some other books that these Muslim brothers used to sell on the streets. The author was Dr. Malachi Z. York. His books just opened my eyes even wider. Simple things like when you say amen after you pray, like where does that come from? Like the origin of the Bible, the origin of the...
All right, we don't want to get copyrighted, but I couldn't find the Jay-Z clip where he actually says Jay-Z's evil or like he
No, but
implies
I
it.
mean, it's even in Wikipedia. You can find if you look up Prodigy, you'll see like the.
There's definitely a clip where they. I'll find it later, bro. This is me not being prepared for the pod, dog. This is one on me.
I mean, listen, bro. No one's prepared.
But regardless, that shit is
The world isn't prepared, bro. You got climate change. You got Afghanistan.
Bro, Beyonce said it. You heard him.
I remember that track when it came out.
Formation, that whack ass
and
shit.
I thought at the same time, I was like, these.
That was literally that would have been my reaction too.
But
Like,
I just think it's a thing because it gets people talking.
I mean, now though,
It
right?
gets people talking. I mean, it was
But
back in the day.
then it wasn't a thing.
But it was though. It was culturally a thing. See,
It just
it
wasn't called Illuminati.
It was called Illuminati. You know how?
Nobody.
No, wait a second.
Okay,
Wait a
go
second.
ahead, go
though.
ahead.
This is important stuff,
Go
Mike.
ahead, go ahead,
this
go
is
ahead.
very important stuff.
Because I've never heard anybody say Illuminati back then. But go
Listen,
ahead.
you know how Tupac found out about the Illuminati?
He was the first dude I heard about it say it. He
You know-
might be the most popular dude to literally popularize it. Right or wrong?
It was in prison that he found out about it.
Reading the Machiavelli books?
No, from prisoners talking to him.
Oh, actual people?
And
just,
he was like, this is just like a way to keep us back. They're like saying, no, you're powerless. There's like the secret society trying to get onto you. That's one interpretation of like, because
Right.
I saw the interviews with Pac from back in the day where he was talking about the Illuminati. That's what I got from it. That's what it seems like to me for the most part.
And what
'Cause
do you say he said exactly? That it's a way to push us back?
It's a way to fuck with people mentally to like push them into
Right.
into this idea, especially like minorities and stuff, to get them into this idea like
trolling
oh,
again. It could be trolling. A
these
sense of
people
trolling.
have the world so packed with their ideology. They have so much power that it's impossible for us, man.
Yeah, but Prodigy believed in it heavy,
right.
though.
Prodigy believed in it, yeah.
Heavy. He
Yeah.
was literally going off saying what year they were met. He named the guy, and I always forget his name too, dog. I'm sorry, guys. I have a stoner memory, so.
You're talking about like the Bavarian Illuminati back in the day, like
No, the actual dude who started it. There's his name. It's on Wiki too.
yeah, the original Illuminati.
Yes,
the
yes.
ones that we know
15th
for
century.
the ones that we know for a fact existed. That they ended up being persecuted in the United States as well after they came.
Oh, they
here.
were?
Yes.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah. Well, it's a big issue, man. Like a nation is a weird thing. That's another thing. The CIA, even by looking it
Some
up,
motherfuckers are fucking scumballs, dog. Like I don't trust the CIA.
you already know that they manipulate shit, right? Everyone knows that.
I mean, they put drugs in the street, right?
it's common sense.
Like, let's be honest, we know this.
that
already.
they fund their shit, but they funded their shit by doing that, by trafficking drugs.
That's fucking sick.
Right?
Why does that's the problem, though. The government will never go against itself. I mean, is the CIA privately or is it government funded?
You know, here's the yeah, it's government funded.
So,
but is it really? That's the issue. See, everything.
What do you mean by that?
The government, when we think about the government, first of all, our government is like different than, of course, a government like China, right? Where it's a dictatorship, right?
Right.
So they had the same guy for like ever until he dies or some shit, right?
Right.
But we have like every couple of months there's every few years there's an election.
Right.
You got a new guy who has
Senators,
a different plan.
Mayors.
You got this guy, Home Depot paid him, but Lowe's paid him more, so he's giving them a loan or whatever, you know. So that type of stuff happens. But then the CIA, they're autonomous to a certain degree. They don't have to they don't have to answer that much. And usually,
I mean, you don't know. Usually, you don't know people from the CIA because they keep their identity very secretive.
Yeah, and they're
secretive people,
and they're not going to tell you. They're going to be like, we're investigating these secret canals that they made. You know,
right?
They're not going to do that, right? They might do it 50 years later, right? Tell you, but that's the only way we know for the most part.
That's it, yeah.
But like other than that, they sometimes don't have enough money, and since the government is so scattered, it's like you got the president, the Senate, the House, this committee, that committee, and they're all like, fighting for power inside the government. They all have their own agendas, and the CIA is like, well, we don't have any way to fund this, and like no one's gonna find out, right? Yeah. So, but eventually people do find out. Even if they try to hide the evidence, people end up finding out because they're so terrible.
They've hid evidence.
Oh yeah, they did.
Like
yeah. They hid evidence. Yeah, there was a part of the issue was when they were trafficking, when they were getting I forgot the name of this guy, but he was actually getting drugs. He was dealing with Pablo Escobar, and that's part of the way that they were like funding themselves is like through drug money, right? Right. And so he was like flying kilos.
Easy. Yeah, easy.
And so they actually ended up killing that guy, and they actually ended up trying to take away the evidence.
You're talking about the guy that had long hair in Narcos, that he was always flying in the plane? Forgot his name.
This is an American we're talking about.
Yeah, he was an American.
He was an American, right?
And he flew the plane.
I don't remember in Narcos. I don't remember that well, but I remember that they actually made a movie about him with.
Wasn't it George?
I can't remember.
Fuck, I don't remember either. Whatever.
I can't remember. But he did that actually ended up happening. They had like a little place, like a little what is it called, like where the planes land, right?
Like a midway because they didn't have enough gas. Was it that?
Just like a little shelter. It's like a house for planes, if you want to call it that. Like in an airport where you can just park the plane and leave it there. Because it was small. It wasn't like it was a jet or anything.
They actually have homes like that in Florida here, I think.
Like that?
Yeah, I forgot the names of them. I saw them on TikTok. There's a name for them. I just don't know right now. I don't know shit.
Like shelters that are that
I'm
big?
I'm retarded. I don't even want to say that word. I'm dumb, guys. I'm sorry.
Man. But this guy ended up in a situation where it was like he was terrified because he knew they were coming after him. He started running away, going to this place. They ended up coming after, and they erased the evidence, right? The place where he had his stuff, they told him, like, you got to get rid of all this stuff. The plan went to shit. We're not doing this anymore. We changed our mind. That. And they get rid of the documents, but people still end up finding out, right? That's how it works.
How did they find out that the CIA fucking put drugs literally on the streets of LA?
You mean like through? You mean like when they traffic drugs to the United States? That's what you mean?
Yeah.
Man, it's that they did it so many times to fund their experiments. I don't know the first time they found out, but like, it was it happened a lot.
All I've ever known, I've heard it was in LA mostly. A bunch of, I think it was probably like Rodney King times, or no, Ronald Reagan. It was probably it, right?
Reagan,
right? That was the time when they were fucking putting drugs on the street.
Reagan was when the crack epidemic started.
There you go. Yeah.
That was when things got heavy with crack.
He was a bad president though.
The Reagan?
Yeah, he was an asshole though.
Reagan, the 80s were a weird time, by the way, not just for that, but like the amount of violence.